All right. What's good? What's up, Nick? How you doing?
What up, man? Um, 2 months down, another month, a quarter of the year's gone by, man. How's the first couple months been? And we got some big news, I guess, on the sports side too. We'll dive in, but how's uh how's January and February been for you?
It's good, man. Just, busy, but like not like the good kind of busy. I'm working on a lot of things. I mean, we both are fucking, I feel like behind the scenes working on a bunch of cool stuff. So
How's the
it's good, man.
master,
It's
man?
time. Time's flying though. I mean, yeah, it is March already, which is crazy. You got NFL free agency coming up. I think, a lot of cool things in sports entertainment going on right now. A lot of business news. I think, from tech. I mean, a lot of layoffs going on recently. I don't know. Did you see that the other day where like that one guy, Jack, who founded Twitter, his company blocks, he laid off like
Yeah,
4,000 people?
yeah. Through a tweet or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely wild. And I don't want to go there right now, but just a lot of interesting stuff, man. Like I feel like 2026 is gonna be a crazy year. So yeah, no, it's crazy. That's already March. But yeah, no, things are good on my end, dude. What about you?
And you know how it is to run across the country, and I've got a baby turning one. Next week I got another 2.5 year old, and obviously my wife handles everything. But yeah, in the startup grind, and traveling across the country, and um doing a lot of really interesting things in college sports, building a new asset class. But you guys made a big announcement today with Sporting JAX, right?
Yeah, we announced the stadium. Pretty exciting stadium build out. So that's been it's been a long time coming. I feel like we've been working on this for like shoot 2 or 3 years now. So to have that finally announced today in the site, because we were looking at multiple sites. I can't tell you how many people are like, dude, where's the site? I'm like, I can't say, I can't say, I can't say. And yeah, no, today, so we actually made an announcement. I'll actually let me share my screen. Let's get into it and see if we can pull up the article. Yeah, so we announced the stadium today for those of y'all listening here in Jacksonville. And yeah, it's gonna be mixed use development. So let me scroll down here. I think there's a good picture. Yeah, no, so you'll see the stadium here. It's gonna be about a 15,000 person stadium, which is pretty cool. We got a lot of real estate that will be coming, right around the stadium. So if anyone's been to the Battery in Atlanta, we're sort of taking that concept where the Braves play and applying it to soccer here in Jacksonville. So it's gonna be sick, man. Honestly, like the announcement today, it's sort of still surreal. But like hearing Tebow speak about it, hearing Fred Taylor speak about it, Ricky speak about it, the team, getting everyone excited. We had the men's and women's team there as well because the men's team kicks off this Saturday, our first real game. So it's exciting, and they actually show on the map here. So if anyone is not familiar with Jacksonville, this is like the largest outdoor mall we have. And then we currently play right here at UNF. This is in the stadium, but this is where the stadium's going to be at. So we have all this property here. We'll develop that, which will be cool. So this picture, what we see here, and this is just a little glimpse, we'll be going right here. So if we zoom out of Jacksonville, it's a good spot, man. You got the beaches over here. You got the team here. You got downtown Jacks over here with the Jags. So it's right in the middle, man. It's going to be sick. So it's
Yeah, and
exciting.
even explain kind of the structure behind everything, because I think the future of where sports is headed is a totally vertically integrated sports entertainment and real estate platform.
Mhm.
Even copying what the Battery has done. The Battery, the star of the Cowboys. I think Patriots Place is the Patriots one. I mean, Golden State Warriors have another. It's where the model is headed. But like, can you explain like how that's actually structured? Is like an investor, and how some people I think can get into the real estate ownership, but maybe not the sports ownership.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know how every other team does it, but our way of structure, like the team pretty much owns everything, and the team owns the team stadium. At least ours is, and then it owns the real estate that will be developed. And I think that's where really, as from an investor perspective, that's where the money is, right? It's like you own the real estate, you get paid rent, you can get cash flow from that rent. And if you have vendors in the stadium, doing events, I think that's another big piece. But it's really the real estate and the land where that's the big play. Where all these, I think now the sports investing world is like these guys want to buy up all the land around the stadium, develop real estate, maybe even under the stadium if they can, owning the stadium, and just that's what like Shad Khan's basically doing with the Jaguars. He's bringing a Four Seasons here downtown. He owns so much land around the stadium, and the city owns the stadium, and we're with the new stadium being developed. So I think from an investor standpoint, yeah, it's like full vertical integration. I think sports in general is just like a alternative asset class. It's not really correlated with much. So like if stocks go up or down, like sports doesn't care. As bonds go up or down, sports doesn't care really. So I think for me, again, I saw this in my city and I was like, you know what? With my ambitions of, hopefully buying the Jags one day, I'm gonna be the Jacksonville Gary V. Uh, I was like, I want to dip into sports. It can be a great investment. I get to learn a lot about, how sports work. And I think, with what we're doing here, announcing the stadium today, I think that just proves like, hey, this is where things are headed. I think a lot of other sports owners, you can see it from soccer, baseball, basketball, obviously football, that the model is like, we don't just want to own the team. We want to own the team, the real estate, everything around it. So we basically like, no one can tell us what to do basically. And also, we're getting paid when people come to our games when they're not even in the stadium and they go to our real estate, we're still getting paid. And that's just even when the games aren't even played, that's like 365. And so it is, you could look at it from two different angles, owning a sports team or owning the real estate. But that's what I really liked about this because it wasn't just soccer, it was much more than that. Obviously, the soccer is really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of sports teams are headed this way. What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, this is the general kind of the next phase in kind of revenue generation for these teams. I mean, you've got to own the dirt, you've got to own all your assets and IP. It's all about venue and arena utilization. So like the Cowboys, I mean, through AT&T Stadium and the Star, I mean, they are running that thing 365 days of the year. I think AT&T maybe has 300 days of the year it's in use.
Really?
And
That
I mean,
many?
dude, he does 90 million, according to the last financials, 90 million in entertainment and events, revenue.
Top
So
line?
they're top line. Yeah. That's just,
Okay.
live events and entertainment. So that's, concerts, that's private events, that's group tours, that's private tours. And that is just that business line, alone. And that's what you have to get to as a sports team owner. You've got to make it like freaking Disney. They
Jerry
get you in the
World.
door. Yeah, man. Like it was really interesting to see, the inside as a player, and then on the business side as well. While I was at, uh,
So he's doing 90 million just from
Pricier.
live events. Plus he owns the real estate around that too, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for like where the headquarters are, that's called the Star,
Yeah.
and that's mixed use retail. Probably a couple billion, 100 acres. I mean, there's office, retail, hospital, restaurant. Obviously, it's public-private partnership with the city of Frisco, where on some Fridays they're playing high school games in there. And then it's different around AT&T Stadium. I mean, technically he doesn't own the stadium. Arlington does, but he pays, I think it makes maybe like 2 million a year with the option to buy it. But how it works in pro sports a little bit different than kind of even your deal is like it could be publicly funded, but the team is not the owner of the arena or
Mhm.
venue, it's the operator, and it can collect all the revenue. Like what the Chiefs just did. I mean, I think they got 1 to 2 billion in like taxpayer. I don't know if it's star bonds, but then they collect 100% of the revenue, and then of the rent that they pay, it goes into a budget that they use to then upgrade and maintain the arena. So I mean, it is you know sports teams just haven't been viewed as a traditional investment. But you got to think about like, dude, like 50 to 80% of their revenue is highly contractually like recurring or
Mhm.
reoccurring. A lot of that is you know media dollars. But when there's so many different ways to monetize the customer base, from premium seating, premium experience, hospitality. You obviously got ticketing, concessions. You've got live events. there's a big data play. They started getting into operating their own events, like youth sports camps. But yeah, man, like, and that's why the Cowboys, I mean, they do like 500-600 million in EBITDA.
That
Most
much?
probably. Yeah, dude. I mean, if they opened
Oh
up the
my,
buyer pool to like, you know, it, uh, to like, I don't know, people that could write multi-billion-dollar checks, tens of billions. I mean, the Cowboys would go for
20?
20 to 30 billion, maybe 25.
What percentage of the profit is just like during the football season?
Uh, I mean, probably the
Obviously,
bulk
it's
of
like year
revenue kind
round,
of comes
but
through them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know the breakdown on that, but you know, maybe 50 to 60 million in operating income comes from the Star. I have to look the numbers again. There's a really good article that came out that we should share around the battery, how much money it generates, and then there's a few others that do that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's about, and even the investment or the real estate that y'all are building, you're going to want people there 365
that's the
days of the
plan.
year. Yeah. And so that's what you have to do if you're going to build a stadium, you're going to want something where people aren't just coming, you know,
So this is an article from the Braves yesterday. The Braves here, I guess like let me just share my screen again. It said they make where'd it go? Here we go. Top line numbers right here. Total revenue. Whoa, no way. Wow. It says 732 million in 2025.
yeah.
Let me share this real fast. That is insane. But look, the baseball revenue is only 7% increase. So most of the other things coming from the mixed use. Look at that, 45%. Yeah, that's why the real estate, for those watching,
Yeah. You see
45%
that
is coming from the real estate. Isn't that insane?
operating income before depreciation 100 million. So imagine this. Cowboys are doing like over 500. So
Dude,
1.1, like with like 40, 50% margins.
you can see the top one here. Yeah, look at the baseball revenue right there and the mixed use. Still a good chunk.
Yeah, I've
That's
got a lot
interesting.
of like analysis stuff that I should probably send you. It'd be helpful probably for your Sporting JAX stuff. But yeah, I mean, even in college, it's worse, man, where you've got folks with these massive stadiums that aren't being used but 8 times a year, you know, seven
So
games and
yeah,
then
they're
a
just losing
graduation.
money.
Well, it's not optimized. And again, like the infrastructure built in college sports, the stadiums, like, most of it was built before, World War II. That's why Florida, needs $1 billion to upgrade their, stadium. And then a lot of times it was overbuilt. And now what they're doing is removing seating and adding more premium seating and experience because, the fans that are there, they'll pay more for these premium stuff.
Experiences. I think that's what
Yeah.
the Jags are doing with their new stadium. I think it's so right now. I think we have like 62,000 seats, maybe less. I think they're going around like 50 something. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's going less seats, more experiences. Sort of like when you go to the Raiders stadium where they have like literally like the giant suites and you can freaking gamble in there. And it's I mean I've never been, but I'm sure it'd be
Yeah,
really
that's
fun.
another growth lever, man. Like this sports betting stuff. Like I probably think there's a world where, as it becomes legal everywhere, that I don't know if teams get a license and they just sub-license it to an operator, and then they get a piece of that revenue. I mean, and they can't do it themselves because I think there'd be a conflict of interest of like trying to like not fudge the numbers, but bet on certain things where they could probably influence it. Right now, they're just getting massive sponsorships. Like WinStar is a big sponsor of the Cowboys, and I think actually that's the biggest casino in the world. It's up there in it's like Thackerville, Oklahoma, right across the border. Probably never been through there. You just walk in, it's just like straight cigarette smoke.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
Big, kind of on a big Indian reservation. But yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. I think in sports, media, entertainment. With AI, and all this AI generated crap. I mean, people are going to want the real thing.
Yeah.
And Jerry's just made such a brand out of the Cowboys. It does not matter if they, win or lose. I mean, they're must watch, TV, and there's always sizzle. There's always, um,
It's exciting, man. It's like modern, literally y'all are modern day gladiators, and I think especially, yeah, with AI community, in-person events will just continue to be more in demand. And dude, sports in general are just gonna keep going up. I was talking with a friend of mine who owns a professional sports team, and I was asking him like, how does this stuff really work, and like, how do people buy the teams, and what do you think the future looks like? And he was like, dude, I've had crazy offers. I'm never gonna sell. It's just gonna keep going up and up and up. And he's the another funny thing he told me, he was like, because I own a sports team, he's like, I can pretty much get to whoever I want because of who I am.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I own this team. He's like, that was pretty cool too. He was telling me the perks of that. But yeah, dude, it's gnarly. I think I got really lucky, just right place, right time, getting in here, and it's not like a major sports franchise or anything, right? But I do think it'll end up being a good investment because of everything we sort of just talked about. And dude, imagine like 10, 20 years from now what these things are gonna be worth. Not just my team, just like NFL. Like imagine trying to buy that. Like it's gonna be impossible. It's gonna be really difficult
yeah,
to
dude.
get
I
in.
mean, you see all these funds that have launched over the past. I mean, even just couple years. Seems like even last year and this year, all the capital that's flowing into youth sports, all the capital that's flowing into pro sports. I mean, even Jacob Harrison at Arctos, my partner. I mean, they went from 0 to 15 billion AUM in like less than 5 years, and now they're being bought for 1.5 billion by KKR. I mean, it is like
Wow.
it is wild, and I think we'll see what happens in college sports, but there's going to be a lot of capital that flows into that in that
So
market.
for the private equity guys that are buying into these sports teams, right? Like they have to sell again though, basically, because like they got to return money to their LPs. So there will be opportunities for buyers, but is it more? Do you think it's more of private equity guys buying the PE guys that are investing in sports, or do you think there's people out there who can actually buy out the PE guys and existing owner? Because I'm just like, when KKR bought Arctos, I was really shocked. Not really, I guess, but like to stroke that check, not many people can do that unless you're the big PE firms, you know?
No, I mean, there was a lack of liquidity for, NFL owners. And a lot of the issues come up when your patriarch or matriarch or whoever the owner dies and there's like estate tax issues. And so they need liquidity to pay those.
Mhm.
Now they're allowing, 10% in the NFL. I'm assuming that as these valuations go up and people like can't pay these prices, that they're going to open up the buyer pool. The only people that can write the multi-billion-dollar checks. I mean, there's less than this many probably in the world to have that type of cash, and then you've got the sovereign money. And I've been approached by people connected to PIF and large insurance companies looking to deploy tens of billions, in sports, whether that's
Like foreign money?
you said foreign money.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not all foreign. I mean, it could be. I mean, TPG is like a big private equity fund. I don't know where their money comes with. And then obviously PIF is Saudi, but a lot of people want to deploy money directly into sports teams or into the ecosystem around it, whether it's the real estate, the agencies that serve, teams and the ecosystems. I mean, I think was was it the LVMH guy that bought CAA or whoever a couple years ago? I mean, there's so much more. There's so much more room to run. Like, man, we talk about college sports and
So
media
yeah,
rights.
CAA sold to Francois Henry Pinal.
Yeah, and that was a couple years ago.
I didn't realize he bought that, dude. You know the story of like Michael Ovitz? I think it's Michael Ovitz, right? CAA
I think
agent
so.
Michael Ovitz. Yeah, his story is crazy. He's got a really good book. I didn't realize he bought it. He said he bought September 23, valued at $7 billion. I don't think they actually released the acquisition completed for this seven. Dang, wow! I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
big. Ovitz. I think that all the random people that I know. I think I know somebody who's marrying his daughter. we'll have to talk about this offline because that the other guy is somebody you need to know. It is interesting. I was lucky to play football, and that took me to levels that I couldn't even comprehend, at the time. And I remember there was somebody who's told me, you got to find your field of favor and, play in it. And, it can take you really far in life. And I find myself now back in my field of favor in sports. It is really just interesting to see all the stuff that's happening, even from like the business standpoint, because I was always a player and I didn't think of it as a business. But
Well, you were the business in that sense,
yeah, I
like, at
was
the
the
time.
product. Yeah, the entertainment
Well,
product.
you were your own business in that sense, like, at that time.
Yeah, but it's got a long way to go, man. And I think
So
you
should
getting
people be looking
into
for sports investments? Is that what you're trying to say here?
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to recommend investment
Not
advice on here.
financial, not financial advice. Not
Yeah,
financial advice.
but I think as part of portfolio, you gotta have it just with how recession resistant, durable, and uncorrelated it is. And even, I mean, I've learned this from the Cowboys. I mean, Jerry has leveraged the Cowboys to do all sorts of other stuff because, of the access that it gives and the people that want to be associated with it, whether they're fans or brands. I mean, it's incredible. And there's just so much passion. I mean, dude, it's because it is modern day, gladiator and just competition. I think that's just part of the human spirit.
Do you think that teams will ever, like, because some teams in the USL do this where they open up like a round to fans and they'll let fans, you can own, like, it's a small, obviously very, very small percentage of the team, but you can buy a percentage for like 1,000, 2,000 bucks just for your average fan. You can own that. I don't know how much, or if you could even sell it one day. But do you think that'll ever happen with like these bigger teams one day where they might open up smaller percentages? But obviously, it's probably more private equity, but smaller percentages for more owners, because you can have a lot of owners, right? Just you gotta have a majority owner. Is that, am I?
I mean, I think there's each league and team is different. And if they need access to capital, I mean, I think the retail people could definitely be a fit. I don't know if that dilutes the brand and scarcity because I don't think Cowboys will ever do that. But I have
Yeah, I
seen
think
there.
NFL would be tough for that, but I don't know. I mean, I
I
think
mean,
it could
there
be
are.
cool, right? Like, imagine owning a piece of your hometown team. Like, if
I think
you're,
Manchester United, don't they do that over there? Isn't it publicly?
I
Um,
don't know, but it'd be cool, right? If like Jerry was like, "Hey, I'm selling 1%." I wasn't say that's even a lot, but I'm selling 0.5% of the team to people who live in Dallas or whatever. They want to own a percentage of the Cowboys, and like obviously he could take. It's not like the money would matter to him, but I think that could be cool. I don't know, just from again like being part of something bigger than yourself. Like when you have ownership in something,
yeah, I
you
mean
just
the
care a
the
lot
Green
more.
Bay Packers. I mean I
Yeah,
mean
the
it's not
fans own the whole
ownership.
team basically. But there's so much demand for that. You talk about diluting it. It's like, I guess Green Bay there again, I've been to Green Bay. We do a lot of business up there. There's not a whole lot to do besides football. But I mean, dude, the wait time to get on the list to get seat is like hundreds of years, bro. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's I think there's definitely up. Yeah, I do think it's headed that direction. I mean, there's even like the crypto people talking about securitization or putting these teams on chain. Like that stuff is above me. I don't understand it.
Team tokens.
Yeah, I mean, I even think like talk about tokens. Like I think these
Cowboy
teams
coin.
will launch their own. I mean, they'll become their own bank. Like
Dude, I'd do that if I was Jerry. Jerry, if you're listening, launch a cowboy coin. That's me and Nick's idea to you. We want a little percentage of that. Launch cowboy coin. No, we'll take some of
I
that
mean, there's
there.
stuff with stable coins and I mean, there's like legitimate stuff that I think could be built in time that could be tied into fan engagement. But it is sports is interesting, man. entertainment is interesting. AI, I mean, I think will supercharge, a lot of these valuations and media rights and even learning more about like the supply chain and distribution of like everything. I mean, between, like just even the differences between college and the NFL and them selling different packages to different whether it's Netflix or ABC or NBC or ESPN or Disney. I mean, it's a fascinating business model, and I think it's just now being professionalized at the team level where they're looking at it like y'all are at Jacksonville. And I've got my anchor tenant, the team, and then I'm going to build everything around it. The entertainment component, the real estate component. It's a really interesting time, man. So that's exciting that y'all officially announced that. What other teams do you think you'd want, a piece of in time? Obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
I'm pretty much just Jags or bust, man. I think, for me, being born and raised in Jacksonville, like okay, so I'll say this too. My mom's from Boston, so I do love the Red Sox and the Celtics, Bruins. I'm not a Patriots fan. Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox. I would be interested in those teams. I probably got ways to go before that's even a conversation, but I'm pretty much Jags or bust. So that's my big, big, big goal one day. So Shad Khan, if you're listening, hit my line, bro. Uh, we'll talk soon. But yeah, no, I think it's exciting, man. We're all pumped here. I think it's gonna be really cool for the city because a big piece of this is the community aspect of it. So like we'll be able to build, other soccer fields and obviously if people are coming into around and there's not a game going on, they're just going shopping. They can go hang out at the park or the go kick the ball around. So it's really it was really developed with the community in mind first, and I think that's something that we've never had here, sorta like down. You've never been, you've have you did you ever play in Jacksonville?
No, we played them in the preseason, but it was
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to do, like, down it's coming, like, right, with Shaw's development, but in the past, since I've been alive for almost 30 years, like and that's how long the Jags have been here, there's not a whole lot to do, like, near the stadium. Obviously, you can go hang out on the river and do the river walk and stuff like that, but, like, around there, there's, like, a few bars, and you gotta walk pretty far to get to, uh, some of the restaurants and stuff, but, like, in proximity to the stadium, like, very closely where it's, like, nicely developed, we've never really had this, so I'm excited for that, and I think it'll be really cool. So to be a part of that, I think is exciting for me, and I'm definitely looking forward to. I wish it was done tomorrow. It's gonna take a few years, right? Obviously, to do it well. So it's definitely exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to going to other people's facilities to see what they're doing as well. And we did a lot of that, but just to see like future developments in other cities stealing from each other, I think would be really cool. And yeah, no, I mean it's all gonna be really cool for the city, so I'm definitely stoked on it. I think that'll be overall a net positive, create some jobs, have people have a lot of fun. I think that's the whole end game is just have fun. So, I'm pumped for that.
I'm
Let's
pumped for you, man. I'm
let's
gonna help you buy the Jag someday, man. What do I gotta
let's
do?
go. Let's go. Let's end it here on,
300 Spartans.
let's that's happening. Let's end it here on the, with some NFL stuff because we got free agency coming up. I think the Jags said they might let ETN walk. Do you think there's, like, any big free agents out there that or players out there that might move teams? And then what's your prediction for, I guess, next year over, like, who are you looking at as, like, maybe, like, underdog that could make some waves next season?
Dude, I'd be lying if I said I knew anything about it. I'm so dialed into college sports that I haven't even been following. Got my boy Will Greer that I talk with, some of these other guys, but I'm just so out of tune with that stuff.
Just say the Jaguars. That's all you had to say.
Jaguars.
Yeah, hoping the Jags can make a good run of this year. So we'll see. And we had a good season last year. I think the Cowboys. I mean, Cowboys. I don't know. I'm always up and down on the Cowboys. You guys seem like you can do good, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes you do. I don't know. I never know. You're like no comment there. We haven't ended. What else? What else do you want to end it with right here?
You know,
Leave me with some inspiration. Come on.
I don't know if this is inspiration, but this is like advice that the world is malleable, and you can impose your will to get stuff done. You've got to think out of the box, think with the end in mind, and try to reverse engineer a solution. And that's like first principles type thinking. I've just been blown away by stuff that's so obvious nobody has thought of. Yeah, man, I'm fired up to know you, to do this podcast, and try to recruit 300 Spartans that are gonna change the world.
So
I guess inspiration is, you got to find your wolf pack, and your core tribe, and push each other. Even I'm not operating at a level that I know that I'm capable of, and holding myself to standards that I have before when I was part of a team environment. And I think even the group chat that we have, like, that's what I'm trying to replicate. And
you
I'll
better
be
get you to
telling
move to
people,
Jacksonville, bro.
I'll be telling these people at like 3 a.m., like, are you freaking working?
I love that,
Justin
dude.
knows. It's not personal. I just know we're all capable of a lot more, man.
Dude, it's facts though. Like seriously, like I've even willing to hear, but yeah, I've even noticed that with myself lately. It's like even like working from home, I'm not loving that, but I think so many of us are definitely operating way less than what we're capable of, and that to me, obviously, I don't know if you ever hit your potential. Like, how is that? How do you really know that? But I think, yeah, if you're not giving it mostly your best shot every day, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, you're doing a lot of people your disservice, your ancestors, your family, your community. So I 100% agree. I think if you're out there and you want to fucking improve your life, have fun, surround yourself with some dogs, hit us up. We're recruiting, actively
Yeah,
recruiting. But you got, dude, it's a, it ain't easy to get into the wolf pack. I don't even know what we're calling our wolf pack yet, but we'll,
bunch of dogs, man.
the dogs, yeah. We're recruiting for the dog pack. But yeah, that was a fun podcast, man. We, talk some sports, talk some business, talk some personal development. We got some good episodes coming up, guys. Got some cool guests coming on, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.